Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to my video. Let me introduce myself. My name is Aditya Arya Dieva. I am student of English Education Department. From State Islamic University of Alauddin Makassar. So first of all, let us pray and praise the presence of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for the abundance of mercy and pleasure. And don't forget to send salawat and greetings to our Prophet, the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allahumma salli wa barik alaihi. I would like to say thank you to Mr. Dr. Kaharudin, my lecturer, to giving me this opportunity to make a final test, best video. So I made this video to discuss about curriculum and instructional development. So there are three pages or three topics that I will explain. Based from curriculum and instructional development. The first page is talking about preliminary phase. Preliminary phase is talking about administering need analysis. So there are three steps in this phase. First is making decision on need analysis. After that, the second is gathering information on need analysis. And the last is using the information on need analysis. There are three steps. Next, the second phase is talking about development phase. Development phase also have three steps that I will explain in this video. Is talking about first is selecting and organizing course contents. After that, I would like explain about developing the teaching materials. And the last from development phase is reviewing and validating the teaching materials. Next, the last phase is talking about review phase. Review phase also have three topics that I will explain. First is teaching instructional materials. Second is about evaluating learning outcomes, and the last is summative evaluation. Let's start. As I said before, the first phase is about preliminary phase. Have three steps. First is making decision. So the first steps is how we decide on decision before analyzing, which must know some very important things. The first is who will be involved in need analysis. Who will be involved in terms, in the sense of which category will be involved and how many people will be involved. That is the first. The second important things is about what information to look and what information to look for and collect it. In terms of what purpose the information was collected. And the last important things when making decision is how to know the instrument to do the need analysis. So we move the first. The first is who will be involved. Okay, as I said before, who will be involved is sense of which category and also how many people. So according to Brown 19 and 95, there are 4 categories of people can be involved in a needs analysis, i.e. the first is target group. This is the first, the first important things. Target groups, which means the people who will be involved and provide information on the data that has been collected. For example, like such as teachers, students in certain majors, or students who have graduated. The second category is the audience. The audience, which means people who are involved and given the opportunity to support the running of the needs analysis, of course by providing an input or action on the needs analysis. Same like such as teachers, teacher aides, program administrators, or supervisors in the bureaucracy above the language program. The third category is the needs analyst. The needs analyst is persons who are responsible for carrying out the needs analysis. And the last category is a resource group. Research group is like people who serve as source of information about the target group. For example, like parents, future employers or professor from the students, and etc. Okay, that is the 4 categories according to Brown. Okay, the next, still about who will be involved. So that is the categories. Next is how many people. How many people. The number of people involved is determined by considering first is population availability. Population are the academic community members which were categorized into target group like students, audience group like lecturers, and research group like graduates. That is a population availability. Next is sampling. Sampling is like the process of selecting the accurate representation of the population, which can be done through various sampling techniques. So that is the number of people involved is determined by considering population and sampling. So the first that I explained, who will be involved. The next is what types of information when making decision. So after deciding the people who will involve in the need analysis, the next steps is what type of information needed in the needs analysis. So to decide what types of information required in a need analysis, we need to know 3 things. 3 things. First is from 4 philosophies commonly exist in needs analysis. Second is 3 basic dichotomies of needs analysis from Brown 19 and 95. And the last is 5 question categories for a needs analysis. So in relation to this, 4 philosophies, it is necessary to consider 4 divergent philosophies commonly exist in needs analysis, since such philosophies will affect the types of information will be gathered. The first is discrepancy philosophy. Yeah, discrepancy philosophy is the point is that in analyzing needs, there will definitely be differences where this makes a discrepancy with what students want to achieve and what they actually do. The second philosophy is democratic. Democratic is a type of information which views needs as any change that is desired. Okay, sorry, is desired. Is desired by what? By a majority of the group involved. Like the learning most desired by the chosen group, such as the students, the teachers, and the administrator. The administrators. Next, the third philosophy is analytic. Yeah, analytic, like a kind of information which views needs are survey from existing literatures, such as research reports on second language acquisition. Yeah, acquisition. And the last philosophy, the fourth, is diagnostic. Yeah, diagnostic. Diagnostic philosophy is a type of information which views needs as the most important language skills necessary for students to survive in the language they learn. Yeah, maybe that is the four philosophy. Okay, well, next we are going to talking about three basic dichotomies. This is also the important things. What type of information? Yeah. First is situation needs versus language needs. Now, situation needs is normally referred to administrative, financial, logistical, manpower, pedagogic, cultural, personal, or other factor that may give an impact on the program. Yeah, while language needs refers to language competence of students, reasons for studying English, their current abilities, and etc. The second dichotomy, is objective needs versus subjective needs. Yeah, objective needs is are the needs identified from observable data about the situation, the learners, the language that the students finally acquire, while the subjective needs refers to wants, desires, and expectation. Yeah, and the last dichotomy is linguistic content versus learning process. Linguistic contents is refers to the type of language needs that the students need to learn spell out in linguistic terms such as phoneme, morpheme, grammatical structure, utterance, function, notion, and etc. Yeah. In addition, learning process refers to needs in affective domains such as like motivation, self-esteem, and etc. Okay. So there is the three dichotomies, the important things. Yeah. Next, the last types of information is things about 5 question categories for a needs analysis. The first is questions to identify problems. The second is questions of priority. The third is question of ability. The fourth is question of attitudes. And the last is about question of solution. So that is the most important things that we must know how to know what type of the information that must be collected in need analysis, of course. Yeah. Okay, now we are going to the last part from making decision. Yeah, is about how to do the instrument. Yeah, or how are the points of view presented. Yeah, so instrument is like the structure, what structure in the questionnaire. Yeah, structure refers to a numbers of parts or elements that are put together in a particular way to construct uh, need analysis. Yeah, need analysis questionnaire. Yeah, the structure is in the questionnaire of a need analysis consists of two main. Yeah, there are a preliminary question and the core question. Uh, Preliminary question include introduction, include personal information, and include the overview of the present needs of speaking course one, or yeah, the present of what majority or what the problems. Yeah, the core question. Yeah, the core question include the students' language needs and also the students' language learning needs. Sorry. So the core is linguistic needs and also learning needs. Linguistic needs include the overview of the students' learning ability and also priority. And the students' learning needs is the overview include the overview of the students' learning problems and the overview of the students' learning attitudes. Let me see the example. Yeah, so there is the structure and how to do the instrument when need analysis. Well, I think that's all that I can explain about making decision on need analysis. That is the first step on preliminary phase. Yeah. Now we are going to the second phase, second steps. Yeah, in preliminary phase. Yeah, is about gathering information. So, gathering information. In my opinion, gathering information is a process of collecting information or data, yeah, according to the facts and problems to be studied. So that is gathering information. And when we want to make a gathering information or need analysis, at least there are two important things. The first is we must distributing the questionnaire to the participants. Yeah. And the second is processing the data from the questionnaire and another instrument for yeah, data collection to be listed on a needs inventory. Yeah, so how to distribute the questionnaire to the participant? Yeah, there are two ways we can the first is we can from manual distribution, like meet the participants in a room, yeah, or meet the participant in person. Or the second way we can make a virtual distribution is we can send the questionnaire to the participant uh, from email address or WhatsApp or social media, yeah, to be completed and sent back after the completion, like audience group who live in different city from the researcher do to their jobs or professions. Yeah, and also yeah, like this situation, like pandemic, the coronavirus, we can uh, choose the virtual distribution. Yeah. How about processing information from the questionnaire? Yeah. Okay. Decide what sort of information is required. First, introduction. Introduction is include the personal information and perceptions on the need of, like, for example, speaking course availability or another course. Yeah. Uh, Next, linguistic needs. Uh, Linguistic needs, as I said before, that the abilities, students or level of proficiency. Priorities is like language items that consider the most important to learn. So that is linguistic needs. Uh, the last is learning needs. As I said before, also that learning needs is talking about the problems, yeah, weakness and difficulties in learning, and also, yeah, learning needs is include the attitudes, like participants feeling toward the elements of the programs and how they prefer to learn, like example learning styles and preferences. Yeah. And how to process the information after that? Yeah. Okay, there are three ways. Yeah. When someone make a analysis or research, yeah, to process the information from the questionnaire or from the participants, is first is tabulating the information. uh, when uh, when going to the tabulating information, after that we are going to the presenting the data in the form of tables. And the last is providing analysis regarding the data, like make a supporting or make a comment about the results of information or the result of the questionnaire that uh, has been filled by participant. Okay, well, I think that is the simple explanation about the second step from preliminary phase, about gathering information. Next, we are going to the last step in preliminary phase. Is about using the information on need analysis. Yeah. So using, as we know, using the information. What does it mean? Using the information refers to two important things, two activities. The first is using the results or the information on need analysis to identify needs inventory. Yeah. Things to include in needs inventory are those in the core information available in the questionnaire. Yeah. And after that, yeah, there are second activities using the needs inventory to formulate goals and objectives. Yeah. So they they are relate. Yeah. They are formulated based on the identification of needs inventory. In other words, yeah, as we know, a need analysis is the basis for goals and objectives formulation. Yeah, as I said before, that um, using the information to identifying uh, the needs inventory. Yeah. So when we want to identifying the needs inventory, there are two things to do. First is we must reviewing the needs identification from the core question. From the core question include the learning needs and linguistic needs. Reviewing linguistic needs is revisiting the student's learning ability and also learning priorities. while reviewing learning needs is revisiting the students' learning problems and learning attitudes. Okay, after reviewing, we must putting the overall needs identification. Yeah, as I said before, that using the need inventory to formulate the goals and objectives. Yeah, so after reviewing, we must putting the overall needs identification into tables of needs inventory, and then we can formulating goals and objectives. Well, I think that is the explanation about using the information on need analysis. Okay, well, I think enough about preliminary phase. Next, we are going to the second phase about development phase. Well, development phase have also three steps or three topics. The first is selecting and organizing course content. Selecting. What does it mean, selecting? Selecting in this case is mean like selecting the major topics and determining the order of the topics. To select the major topics, we must pay attention about topics. It is derived from the needs inventory, is covering the initial list of the topics. While to determine the order of the topics, we can consultation with teachers, yeah, review or refine the initial list to determine the criteria for sequencing the course content. When we want to deciding the initial list, we can pay attention to two important things by considering first the importance of the topics and also time allotment. The initial list and the sequence of the topics from consultation with teachers. Yeah, teachers based on the opinion or the consultation, teachers who consider that the students already have sufficient knowledge of the topics, while the sequence of the topics use needs criteria, yeah, according to Richards 2001, based on the needs of students from personal to their social life. Social life is include that like simple to complex, chronology, prerequisite learning, whole to part or part to whole, and also spiral sequencing. That is the selecting. Yeah. Next, we are going to planning. Still about selecting and organizing, yeah. But the second is about planning course structure, designing syllabus. Design. What is design? According to Mr. Kaharudin and Arafa 2017, design is realization of the inventory of need analysis into actual production, e.g. syllabus, lesson plans, and prototypes of the teaching materials. Design of the syllabus is carried out by selecting the syllabus framework first, yeah, selecting the syllabus framework. Okay, this design use integrate or mixed syllabus framework and alignment of three different syllabus, i.e. topical or content-based syllabus organized around themes or topic. Second is structural syllabus and competency-based syllabus organized based on specification of competency expected to master. Okay, the alignment is determined to satisfy the linguistic needs and the learning needs of the students. Well, design syllabus also carry out about developing the syllabus. Developing the syllabus is or distribution of the contents of the course. The distribution of the course contents, i.e. number of session, week, term, units, topics, activities, grammar items, and competencies. See the example. there are number of sessions, 10, topics, activities, grammar items, and competencies. Okay, uh, after that, we can move to developing teaching materials. Yeah, developing teaching materials have three procedure when we want to develop. Yeah, first is mapping out the course items in the form of sections. Unit consists of several lessons. The representation of the instructional blocks is the lesson plans. When we want to making the lesson plans is use then syllabus as a guideline to write the lesson plans, make the course general description, and also decide the details of the lesson plan by referring to a certain theory of lesson plan. Next, the second procedure to developing teaching materials is making the prototype of teaching materials based on the lesson plans. Yeah, make sure that the prototypes are developed based on the needs inventory which have been transformed into the syllabus and the lesson plans. Decide the organizational structure of the prototypes. The prototypes are planned by units. Each unit consists of three lessons, i.e. lesson A, skill getting, lesson B, skill using, and lesson C, review. Okay, next, the third procedures when we want to developing teaching materials is getting experts of ELT to review the prototype. ELT is means English language teaching. Yeah, the prototypes review by ELT experts. So the prototype refers by ELT experts. We must pay attention to several important things. First is identify the expert characteristic. Expert ELT teachers might be defined as those who have taught English for many years, have rich knowledge of language teaching, are able to know students' needs and adapt the needs with instructional objectives as well as teaching materials, know how to manage their relations and classroom effectively to achieve students' learning outcomes. Okay, according to Richards and Farrell 2005, there are several characteristics of ELT expert is the first, a rich and elaborate knowledge base, ability to integrate and use different kinds of knowledge, ability to make intuitive judgments based on past experience, desire to investigate and solve a wide range of teaching problems, deeper understanding of students' need and students' learning, awareness of instructional objectives to support teaching, better understanding and use of language learning strategies, greater awareness of the learning context, greater fluidity and automaticity in teaching, greater efficiency and effectiveness in lesson planning. So that is the characteristic of ELT expert. Next, after we identify the characteristic, next we are going to determine items to be reviewed. Yeah. The items are contents, language components, activities, as well as supplementary materials. After that, we move to decide the score range of the items review. Next, makes the instrument for review process, and the last is analyze the review results. Include that we can put comments, supporting information, and also must have a conclusion. Okay, well, I think enough about development phase. There is a simple explanation from me. Yeah. there is selecting, developing, and also reviewing the teaching materials or course content. Yeah. Next, we are going to the last page on curriculum and instructional development. Is about review page. Okay. Uh, Talking about review page deals with the process of describing the outcomes of trying out the developed course content, e.g., syllabus and also teaching materials. As I said before, there are three topics, yeah, in this page. First is teaching instructional materials, evaluating learning outcomes, and also summative evaluation. Okay. First, teaching instructional materials. What does it mean? Instructional materials are all materials, both information, tools, and texts that are systematically arranged, which displays a complete picture of competencies that will be mastered by students and used in the learning process, with the aim of planning and studying the implementation of learning. So the first, on review page is implementing the instructional materials. The implementation aimed at examining the effect of the instructional material on increasing the targeted students' communicative competence after going through the tryout procedure. Therefore, evaluation is administered immediately after the implementation step is done. Yeah, okay, evaluating learning outcomes. In this session, summative evaluation is used for evaluating the effect of teaching the course contents to the target group as the result of implementing the syllabus design and the instructional materials. Summative evaluation refers to checking of what has been learned and at a specific point in time, i.e., at the end of a unit or course. According to Kirkpatrick 1996, there are 4 level models of summative evaluation, such as level 1 is reaction. What is reaction? Reaction in level models of summative evaluation is identifying the student's attitude toward the implementation of teaching materials in the classroom. Next, level 2 is about learning. Learning, it means to measure that what the students have learned from the presented materials by comparing their performance before and after receiving the instructions. Next, level 3 is about behavior. Behavior is required the English teachers to be involved in determining that the students really can use all they have learned from the given teaching materials. And the last level, level 4, is about results. Measure in 2 aspects, i.e., first, the effect of the instructional design on the progress of the student's communicative competence by using the information gathered from the student response. Second is the effect of the instructional design on the progress of the student's communicative competence by using the information gathered from lecture perceptions toward the student's performance after teaching them with the developed teaching materials. Well, that's enough about a review piece. That is a simple explanation from me, and I think that's all about curriculum and instructional development between 3 pages. So the conclusion from me about the important the important things that I explained earlier was uh, when we want to develop a curriculum and instructional materials, it must run three phases. Yeah. First, about how we do the analysis needs. It's called preliminary phase. Then the second, about how to develop the results of the need analysis. It's called development phase. And the last thing, about how we implement the results of the first and second phase so we can evaluate further. It's called review phase. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I only have a few recommendation or suggestion to a teacher who teach English, that when teaching process, or when learning process, a teacher must be a facilitator for achieving learning goals, which means that the teacher will be the key to a student to achieve success. As for students, my suggestion or recommendation are, we must uh, always be diligent and active, and also cooperate with the teacher when learning, so that the desired goals at achieve, which certainly has an impact on individuals or ourselves. Yeah. And last, I want to say thank you for Mr. Dr. Kaharudin, as my lecturer, for giving me this final test. In addition to increasing my knowledge, it can also help me in speaking English well. Yeah, and also I want to say thank you for all my friends for supporting and helping me so this video can be done well. Hopefully this video can benefit for all of us. I mean, yeah. If there are mistakes and shortcomings, I do apologize profusely. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.